Here
We're
we
back.
are. Merry Christmas.
Uh, Is today the Merry Christmas or is the
Yeah, of
next one
course it
Merry
is.
Christmas? Or is today my birthday one? No one cares.
No, the last one was the birthday one. Happy birthday.
What? Oh, well, I guess we're filming it closer to my birthday.
Yeah, we're filming it.
That's what I mean.
Your birthday's.
So that one would have came out. That one
That
is
one
coming
came
out closer to my birthday.
Yeah,
Which
last week. Happy birthday. Did you like the gifts that you got?
How do I feel about being 27?
Ooh. Chewing ice on
That's
the
why I didn't like that.
podcast. Unreal. We're
So
fighting. We're fighting now.
you know what I was thinking about? Getting ready this morning and watching you edit. So you edit the podcast up, so no one knows, but you edit the podcast. And I was thinking about how much you just have to like isolated listen to me. It's like we talk all day and you hear me all day. And then when you don't, when we're having like a break because you're working, it's just you listening to me and like with headphones on, like even more tuned in to just
Yep.
listening to me talk.
I know your every move. I know all your chess moves.
Speaking of which, because you asked me that, I think yesterday, like, because of the commercial, like, what chess piece would you be? You know what, a game that I think would be so fun to play with your family, but it would literally never happen because of how lame the game is? Do you remember that game Essence that we played in Orlando at the restaurant? So basically, here are
Kind
the
of, yeah.
general rules of the game, where one person would be it, but no, you're basically just like the one person and there, everyone else is guessing your answer. So you have to choose. Someone might say like, okay, for someone in the group, if they were a piece of silverware, what silverware would they be? And
Yeah.
like when I played it, I had that question and I chose Lauren and I chose like spork. And like everyone has to guess, or you have to say this person would be a spork. And then everyone has to guess based off of that thing, like, okay, well, who would be that and why? And then you explain it afterwards. I think that would be, those are cool games with people that you know pretty well.
Yeah.
Because then you can really like have more intricate and in-depth reasonings behind it.
Yeah.
But it would literally never happen.
You know what I think it would be? One of the points why they wouldn't play it.
Because it's called Essence.
Well, you could just fake it and call it a different name. It's because one person has to like close their eyes.
No, not with that one. You don't have to.
Yeah, because you have to pick who is going to be the person.
Yeah, but only I would pick.
So you have a group of people.
Yeah.
One,
could be remembering
one
this wrong,
person is the person who is guessing who it's about. They have to turn away and close their eyes. So they don't know who the rest of the group is picking. Frozen.
Oh, see, I thought it was like if we had a group and I was it, I'm the only one that's just going to pick someone. And then someone else tells me, okay, if they were a silverware, what would they be? And then I say what that is. I'm the only one that knows who I'm talking about. And then everyone else has to guess.
No, remember, everybody's on the same page of who they're going to be talking about. Because that person then has to go and guess.
But then wouldn't they know it's them?
No, because it could be anybody in the group. You're picking anybody in the group. Somebody closes their eyes and turns away. The rest of the group decides amongst everybody who's it going to be. Okay, are we going to pick you? Are we going to pick me? Are we going to pick? And then everybody goes, okay, yeah, let's pick them. And then that person uncovers, and now their job is to try to figure out who all of the questions are about. Because the person who's it is the one who asks the questions.
Oh, so is it like a new thing every person? So it's not like
Everybody is lost right now.
I know. Once we figure it out, then you'll re-explain. Once I understand what's going on. So
I know exactly what the game is.
So would it be like, okay, so say if you were sitting next to me and I wasn't the one that closed my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like all describing someone.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else would know that we're describing them.
Yes.
And then would you tell, so you might tell me the silverware thing. Then is that the one that we're going off of the whole time? Or whether then you pick another object of like, and if they were a drink, what drink would they be?
Let me start from the beginning.
Okay.
So say it's my family.
Okay.
So the person who is going to do the question making and the guessing, we'll say, is Carly. She's going to close her eyes and turn away. Now the rest of the family is going to choose, hey, who should we pick? Okay, let's pick Courtney. You're the person that all of these questions will be about, or the answers will be about. Now everybody knows besides Carly that it's you that these will all be about. So now Carly will turn around and then Carly asks questions. Okay, if I was a car, what kind of car would I be? And the person, you're going around the circle. So then like Corey would be like thinking of, okay, well the person is Courtney, so what kind of car would she be? Okay, she'd be a Jeep.
Got it.
And then
that sounds way more fun than what I was picturing. Even the game I thought was fun. That's better.
Your game sounded like everybody knew who it was about and you're just like saying fun things about each other. Like there's no game. It was just like, let's pick you. Okay, what kind of silver are you?
No, I thought it was like only I would know. Like if I was the one saying the thing, I would only know who I picked and who I'm describing. And no one, like everyone would have to guess. But you're right. It's only the person that closed their eyes would have to guess. So you think they wouldn't do it because one person would have to close their eyes?
Yes. Can you picture Corey closing his eyes for a game?
For a game, yes. Maybe some of the other ones, no. I don't know. I think they would.
They probably
Close
would.
their eyes?
Well, it's Christmas Day. We probably played it or we didn't play it and it went
There's
really well.
no chance. And there's no chance I'm going to be the one that brings it up. Like, hey guys, what about this
What
game?
about this game?
Considering
essence?
I can't even describe what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think that would be fun because you have to know them pretty well to make the answers make sense.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what was hard for me playing the game is like,
oh yeah,
this was the first time I met anybody and they're like, so what do you think about us? Like, I don't know. But
yeah, I thought that game was fun.
yeah, when you know everybody, it's a good game. It'd be a good Christmas game too. You can't really probably put like gifts and stuff in it, but it's a fun game to just go around the circle if you got nothing else to do.
Yeah, I feel like
if you even understand how it was explained, but
yeah. I feel like it shows how like I playing that game with who we played with, people at work, I was like, oh, I didn't realize like how much I know you guys.
Oh, sure.
Until everyone's like, oh yeah, obviously that's that person, or like that makes sense why everyone chose that. We know each other pretty well. And I think from those ways where it's like you give off this essence, like you give off this essence of a spork.
Sure.
Like you're versatile. You can do kind of a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
That I think it's a cool, cute game.
You know what's crazy about today? I just want a nicotine, a cup of coffee, and a cigar all at the same time. My cravings are through the roof.
If I could just see you do that, I'd be so happy for you. Why can't you do that? No, you can't. Why can't you do that? No, you can't.
I can't. It's crazy. It's crazy how they come up.
Is it because we're podcasting?
I have no idea why it is. Maybe. Just have a really
which is crazy to want
day.
A cigar and nicotine. It's basically going like, yeah, I want a cup of coffee and triple shot espresso.
Yeah.
Like you want two different of the same thing. You just want a different delivery mechanism.
Yeah, but it's more so I just want the fun of what those things are.
Yeah.
I don't really care about the nicotine as much as I just want something to do while we're doing this. It's like the fun drink with the thing.
Yeah, I have to.
This is all your fault. This is all your fault.
You know, I feel like that's a simple way to live. Like, it's not that dramatic that I'm like that, where like, anything can be, okay, this is maybe where the fault is, but I also think it's good, is I will look at a situation and go, how can this be better? How can this be more fun? How can this be more enjoyable or comfortable? To where I think that helps me in certain scenarios because I can make something that's very boring kind of fun for me and like very mediocre and everyday a little bit more razzle dazzle.
Sure.
But then I also am like, that's now my new baseline.
Yeah.
To where like everything, I'm like, well, but it could be better.
Yeah.
I could be having a cup of coffee while I'm doing this, or like sleeping. I have to be in a perfect position for me to fall asleep. It's not just like, I'm kind of comfortable. It's like, but I could be more comfortable, and that would probably help me fall asleep more. It's like, it's always that.
It's the everything in
What could it
moderation.
be? Yeah.
You are not moderating.
No.
I mean, it's hilarious. It's like your problems are you just want like a coffee with something, or
I just want a fun drink. Like, I don't know when that started.
probably
was
driving
really
hours
young.
to dance every day.
But I don't know if
How
it
do
was
I
like,
make
oh,
this
I
more
always
enjoyable?
had a drink. But I do remember those times when it was more fun. It was like me and Kate would do on our birthdays, give each other Red Bull. And I remember those days, probably because also the energy, so it just made me feel better. I was like, the fact that I can carry around a drink all day changed the day.
Did you feel cool?
It wasn't a cool thing. It was like, this is an activity I can do all day.
That's what
It's a distraction from
that's
school.
what all of those things are for me.
Yeah.
This is just an activity for me to do throughout my day.
Yeah.
Like having a drink, having a coffee, now that I'm apparently a chew guy.
Chew. You're a pouch guy.
You know how happy your dad would be if I started chewing?
Yeah.
He'd be sad and happy at the same time, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, he would.
It was funny when I had
Speaking of which, Dad, I got the stickies off of this.
just talking to him through the It was funny when I had the nicotines, he was like, "Here, try some of this." And it was actually chew. He's like, "Yeah, you should try one of these." It's like, "Oh my gosh."
And you open, you're like, no. Yeah, he's a bad influence. He's like me. I'm the same.
Well,
like we're the same in that way.
Yeah, I mean it's the
That's where I
same
get
of
it
like
from, probably.
the activity during the day, like wanting something to be doing during the time, like whatever you're doing.
Mm-hmm. And that's where I think I get it from. It's like, it's all in. It's not, like I said, it's not moderated. Like,
Yeah.
he goes, fuck it, let's just go crazy. So now it's like, that's what I do.
Yeah, and then like you said, your baseline just becomes more and more and more.
Yeah.
And then now it's, I don't know. You don't have extreme issues though. It's just you have to have 3 drinks with you everywhere we go. It's
Yeah.
like that's not that big of a problem.
No, I guess. No, I guess not.
I need a problem. That's why I think it's so funny. Corey is just like, I need like a drug or something.
Just like something
It's
to
like-
like mix up your life.
Yeah, I just like
I need a problem
something.
to get over.
That's why I was like, just do the nicotine stuff. Like the whatever you call it. Not the Zins, but like the nicotine pouches.
Yeah.
Just
Nicotine
do
pouches.
those. It's like it's not probably eventually it'll be harmless, but it's not as bad as all of the other things. It's like, what are you gonna start smoking cigarettes?
Well, who knows? Maybe they are just as bad. We don't know.
Yeah, that's probably true. All the chemical weirdness that's in them. I would
You'd be probably better doing a cigar every day.
yeah, maybe. I don't know.
It's affecting your lungs, but like, what is the nicotine pouches doing to your brain and it's like, it's just a chemical
You know what's really weird is
and flavored.
in that Landman show that we're watching, he brings up the point of cigarettes. Somebody says something about smoking cigarettes and like how it's terrible for him or whatever, and he's talking about the Japanese of how they smoke
Mm-hmm.
every day and they smoke more than anybody in the country, and they also have like they don't die from it type of thing. I want to look that up and see if that's accurate or if that's just like a TV show thing, because that would seem crazy that they smoke that much and they're not dying from lung cancer.
It's so tricky though, because all like you can't take one thing and make it everything, because it could be their whole lifestyle. It could also be just their genetics. Like maybe Asian populations do better with nicotine, or maybe they like have just generally better regenerative lungs than we do.
Yeah, well, they have a problem with drinking.
Right.
Like
They can't
they
like digest
process
it as
it
well.
and
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
So it could just be something like that, but it could be overall lifestyle of maybe they don't, like what even said in the show. It's like we eat way too much sugar
Yeah,
in our
and
country.
processed shit.
That if they don't have that, what's the counterbalance? Like we're both doing bad things, but is sugar worse?
Yeah, the
That would maybe be
excess
the
of it,
argument. Is like in general to
well, and
take
what
the average population, is sugar and processed foods worse than smoking?
yeah. Well, and what markers are you looking at? You know, what is technically worse? Like, are you just looking at how long you live? You're looking at quality of life. You're looking at
Right.
like, you know, what things are you deciding is it being worse or better?
And you know what would be interesting, which because I don't know how you'd even test it. It wouldn't surprise me if it is sugar because of just the volume. Like kids are having sugar. Babies, like you're having sugar at such a young age and probably way more consistently. So it's like, when do most people start smoking? In high school, maybe, and a little bit after. It's
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
but
now,
you just went 16 years of having sugar. You didn't have 16 years of cigarettes.
well, yeah. Nowadays, I think it's way later. I mean, people used to be
Yeah.
they would start smoking at 16 or whatever, and
They
then
had smoke breaks. Like they had smoking places in school, in high schools.
really,
Yeah. So my grandparents told me.
but yeah, that's probably changed. But then still, like, you have somebody who's smoking their entire life then, and what does that turn out to be versus
But
somebody
sugar
who's eating?
is in the mix the whole life.
Yeah, yeah,
Especially now, like processed foods and like the trash sugar that's in.
yeah. I wonder what would be worse. They're both terrible, obviously, but I don't know. It's still why pick between the two. It's like, just don't do either.
Well,
I'm trying to justify smoking cigarettes. Like, well, you could be eating donuts every day.
I know I think that's funny. We get that conversation quite a bit with people talking about food. We're like, okay, well, what would be better if I ate this or this, or like if I was starting to implement this, would that be good? Because then it's better than this. It's like, well, but it's just all bad.
yeah,
It's like, yes, I guess that is technically better than the alternative, like what you were doing, but you
Well,
can't say, well, now I eat healthy. It's like, no, you're just eating a little bit less health or less unhealthy of the version.
you took like one step in
Yeah.
a little bit better of a
Which
direction.
I think is still great, but
Yeah, it's still good. It's just it's that thing of it's again, it's like, well, what markers are you looking at for this being healthier? It's like, well, is this better than this? It's like, well, it has less sugar, but it's got even more crazy processed ingredients and weird whatever, or it's still like not a nutritional food. But then it's like, well, this one has more protein. Okay, well, it also has more sugar. So is that one better? It's like, it kind of depends on what markers you're looking at, and that's where I don't know. It tends to just be like, I want to just go cut it all out and just do the right one rather
Sure.
than trying to pick between these two granola bars. It's like, just don't have the granola bars. Find something else. Substitute with an apple. But
yeah,
that's
yeah.
not, doesn't seem like that's how people work. They need the steps in the positive direction and continue to
I think as long as it's a
learn.
step and not a destination, like as long as you keep progressing out of that.
Well, and that's what's so interesting. I was actually thinking about this yesterday or the day before. You know, we always talk about how we talk about that of like, with people, it seems like it needs to be this slow progression and getting into it. And then I always think of someone like your dad that was like just cold turkey and it actually changed. And it's different. And I wonder if there's studies or if there's anything around that of people that What's more of a likelihood that people stick to diets or exercise routines or whatever, like the cold turkey people or the people who slowly progress into it? Because I think kind of like what you're saying, people will take one step in the right direction. They'll pick the little bit better granola bar, but then they stay there for 4 years, 5 years at that granola bar.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, maybe I'll do another good thing. And now instead of having pancakes every morning, like they have protein pancakes or something. It's like they just take one step, and this is not enough progress to get going. That I don't know. I was thinking about that and curious about it. I was like, the people that seem to that I don't know, like your dad, but the people around us that have made major changes, it's like they just stopped or they just changed it. They didn't.
That's so
do
person to
so much of
person, my guess would be.
Yeah.
Because, like,
Yeah,
I feel
and I
like
agree.
we're both kind of like that. Like, we're both the opposites of that. You do better with cut it out, I'm done. To where I think I do better with the gradual. I used to think I was cut it out,
Sure.
but that's too extreme for what I need. Like, that's what I think I'm noticing in myself is like we were talking about, like, are you stressed or are you not stressed, or how do you notice it? I think it's those little behaviors that I don't register as like you're being extreme for no reason at all. To where you, it seems like you benefit off of, I'm just going to start doing that. And like you will actually be disciplined enough to stick with it.
And you think that's a stress for you? What part of it's a stress for you?
Because then, well, okay, so take the coffee. Not only did I put a physical stress on myself because I was having headaches and I was like brain fog like crazy when I cut it out because I was going from a pretty high dose to nothing. So I'm not only causing a stress on my physical sense, but then the emotional of like, now I have a headache and now is that ruining my workouts and now is that ruining my day of work and how am I like
The
this
spiral.
self-loathing of like, why are you this? Like I was talking to you guys about like the lack of processing I was able to do with like just doing emails. I'm like, I've read this 3 times. Why can I not like understand what I'm reading? And I was noticing, oh my gosh, is this what coffee is doing to me? Like, am I not even this capable? It's just the coffee's making me this capable. And then I go through this whole emotional spiral about that. And then every day it's this, well, are you going to have coffee or not? You shouldn't have coffee, but I really want to. And it's like this
Sure.
back and forth like struggle every day.
Yeah.
It's like, for what?
Well, and that's where I think again, like whether it's the cold turkey or even just like the schedule of it, of going, I'm cutting this out and I'm done with it and I'm not going to have coffee, and just making that decision rather than having to every day you wake up, well, should I have it? Should I not? Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. It's like you kind of have to make your plan and your decisions beforehand. That way you don't have this stress every time you go into it. It's like with the workout thing too. If you're scheduling your workouts for the week, it's like, don't just go, well, I'm going to go 2 times this week. And then every day you're coming to, it's like, well, should I go to the gym or should I not? I don't know. And that's where all this stress and crap comes in. That's like, no, just schedule it. I'm going to the gym Tuesday and Friday, and then follow that and be disciplined with it and go to it. Same with the coffee thing or like anything. I think it's got to reduce that stress about it. It's like, we'll just have it scheduled. I'm going to have coffee on these days, or I'm not going to have it at all, or I'm going to have it every day and I'm not going to think about it again.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, just make a decision and go with it. The undecisiveness, I think, is where so much of the stress and whatever comes in.
That's where with even when I was off of it, I needed to set a date for when I was going to start it up again. Yeah. I couldn't just do well, I'll just take every day as it goes. It's like, no, because then I am thinking about it all day. And then I'm like, well, is tomorrow going to be the day? Oh, is tomorrow going to be the day? It's like, I just need to set a date and go, you have to not think about it. You just have to be strong until that date. And then you can be guilt-free on that date. And yes, okay, should I be able to do that and be guilt-free regularly? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good behavior trait or not. But to me, I'm setting a rule for myself and I followed it.
Yeah.
Versus like, yeah, I guess I feel like it today. Because I don't know if I could trust that. I'm like, but was that smart to do that? or were you giving in?
Well, what's your, like with coffee, why do you have guilt over having it? Like, what are the reasons? It's like you wouldn't have guilt over eating an apple.
Not anymore.
Why would you have before?
because, because it's a little bit higher carb of a fruit.
Well, that's just nonsense.
I know.
So,
I'm better
okay,
now with
well,
that
maybe
stuff.
not an apple,
I wasn't
but
eating fruit before.
yeah. So don't take an apple, but take something else like broccoli.
I wasn't eating fruit, but I was eating a whole head of cabbage in my salad. Dysfunctional.
Freaking goat over here.
Okay, what?
Like, okay, so take cabbage or broccoli, something that you don't have guilt over having. Why don't you have guilt over that?
Because there is not a stigma around it of it being sugary or more carby, which even I think cabbage is a little bit, but I think I would now a little bit because I think it gives me bloating. So I'd be like, okay, well, calm down on it a
Okay,
little
what's
bit.
something that you have zero guilt over consuming?
Water.
That's the one you should.
I know because it
For
makes
how
me
much
pee
you
all the time.
pee. We're just making you more anxious.
As soon as I said that, I was like, but I probably should be feeling guilty about that too because then I have to pee all the time and that's annoying for everyone around me.
And you claim you're not stressed ever.
No, okay, like meat, like protein, I don't at all.
So, and is it because you just don't think there's any negative or downside to it?
Right.
So then,
Or I don't look at those. I don't look at the negatives.
So then with coffee, like what's the negative and downsides to you?
It's the unknown of what the negatives are. Like, I think from what I experienced, I didn't like how stupid I felt with not having it. So I'm like, oh my gosh, is this fake? Like, am I not this capable without it? Like, am I dependent on it because then I can't produce in a day the same amount that I normally would with coffee? And I think we have good quality coffee, so I'm not too worried about like, oh, what am I putting in my body? Like, it's still somewhat of a processed thing. But I think also there's now this new phase of, well, do we need so much of the stimulants, and is that causing more stress on our body and raising our cortisol levels? And then how is that looking for, like, how does that feel in your body? Is that making your face look different or causing more stress and wrinkles? And it's the unknown of, I don't know what the negatives are, but could I be experiencing them? And I wouldn't know if I am because I never go off of it. So I don't know, like, what's the difference?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I think some of that is just trying to find or figure out what research has been done about it to see if any of those things that you're talking about are true and happening and could be affecting you and whatever. And then, I don't know, going through that. And it's like, maybe you just need to schedule more breaks from caffeine. It doesn't have to be these like big 3-month things, but it's like, okay, maybe I need to take a week off of it and kind of to try to regulate. Maybe it is making me more anxious or stressed or doing any of the things that you just talked about. It's like people get so ritualistic about it, especially coffee. And then, it's typically known as kind of a health food or healthy food with all the antioxidants and the caffeine helping with brain function and all that kind of stuff. Like you were noticing with doing work, it's like, oh, I feel like I'm just like sluggish and whatever. But I don't know. Like, I think it's just a matter of maybe let me take a break for a little bit and just scheduling those in more frequently. That way, maybe the guilt goes away because you're actually doing something about not consuming it all the time and maybe having those negative effects all the time.
Yeah.
It's like working out. There's some people that just work out way too much and they actually will benefit from a deload week or even just like not going to the gym for a week. They'll go on vacation for a week or two and then all of a sudden they come back and they're stronger. And it's like, well, yeah, because you were
Right.
really pushing the envelope too much and your body needed a break. There's plenty of that happening and people do that with all sorts of stuff all the time. So it's like just taking a break more frequently rather than hey, I haven't taken a break from caffeine in 5 years. Let me just drop it completely. And now I have headaches and this and that. It's like, you probably have headaches because you went 5 years without missing a day of coffee.
Yeah. I mean, oh my gosh, when we go back home and we're drinking every day while we're there, and say we have 3-4 days in a row of drinking and then we don't one day, it's like, I even feel a headache with that.
Yeah.
It's like how quickly your body gets used to having that I like that approach more. And maybe I should see it as that, of like, it's a deload week of this, or a deload couple weeks or something. Because maybe it would take me a little bit to scale down.
Well, it's like you could schedule it around your schedule, your busier schedule too, or like your busier parts of the schedule. If you have major things coming up, it's like, it's kind of nice to have that thing to rely on to help keep you up. But when it's like what your dad started doing. The days that he doesn't work, he just doesn't have coffee.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you could kind of just do that. The days I don't work, I'm just going to not do coffee, or I'm going to, I don't know, schedule that in of, okay, this week of work is going to be really light. So let me like kind of work my way down and out of it for a few days. And then when work starts to pick back up, I'll just start implementing it more. Just make it really a fluid relationship with the coffee rather than a ritual.
Over the summer, I feel like that was easier for me to do it then, because we weren't doing as much, like we weren't traveling, we weren't doing that job, that it was a significant like decrease in what was required of me. But like, I kind of work every day. So I think that's what was tripping me up. I was like, okay, well, these emails today, I'm not doing coffee. You're just going to get some terrible responses.
Yeah, but that's just in your head though. You're not dumber when you don't have coffee.
It was so crazy.
But it's also you're looking for reasons.
I don't know.
It's not. I've been off coffee for months. There's no difference. There's no difference. It's just your belief system around it. When you think coffee is this like God-given potion, it's like, yeah, you're going to have this belief that it's just the same people that it's like, I have to work out, otherwise I'm cranky.
That's like literally you as well.
They don't work out and then that's not what I believe. That's not what I believe.
Okay. What do you believe around that?
I believe if I don't work out for 2 weeks, yeah, I'll probably start to get a little irritated and whatever. But these people that it's like, if I don't work out every single day.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just am a mess. Or the people with the coffee. Don't talk to me until I have my cup of coffee.
Right.
It's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
How about that? Be a better person.
Yeah.
So you just you've created this belief around it. We talked about it too, of like the placebo. You've created this belief around it. It's like how people are superstitious. It's the same thing. You're just superstitious about this coffee or this workout or whatever affecting your mood and affecting your abilities to do stuff. That's not actually how it works. You're not stupid because you don't have coffee.
Crystalia. You're not stupid because you don't have coffee. You're not stupid because you don't have coffee. Yeah. So on the food wave conversation, there's this, and I haven't tested it because we haven't gone to the grocery store since, but I want to try it. I guess I could, well, we don't really have stuff like that, but I love the app EWG for just products and being able to scan things and see like, what is the trash in it? What's what am I okay with having that's maybe not as good, or what ingredients am I not even really aware of what they are? That there's another one called Fig, Fig, for food. And I know there's another one, I think it's like Yuka, Yuka, but I don't think that app does as much as this one, where you can scan it at the grocery store and it will tell, like, okay, so basically you'll set your profile up and you can say, I want to try to avoid sugar or like seed oils and wheat, and I want to avoid blah, blah, blah. You could put in all of your preferences, and then when you go to the grocery store and you scan something, it will pop up of like, these are the things that you're trying to avoid. This is what is in there. This is what this ingredient is. It's actually a seed oil, and this is probably the amount. Like generally, that's maybe it in because of the where it lies in the ingredient list. So that way, you can be more privy to what is in the products that you're buying if you are buying things that aren't a whole food.
Yeah.
And I think I like this idea less for the obvious of, okay, well, then you don't actually have to read through the ingredients and know what is what. But I think it creates that habit of paying attention to the stuff that you're buying
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
and realizing, oh my gosh, this isn't everything.
Yeah.
Like you try to avoid seed oils, it's going to be in everything.
Well, and that's what's kind of funny about our food stuff too is there's so much that is not described in it or like on the ingredients label. It's not put on the ingredients label. That's like what RFK's whole thing is with all these like dyes and stuff right now. Like he's really talking about Fruit Loops and Doritos and all these brands.
Skittles.
Huh?
Skittles, I think, are going to be banned. Or they're banned in California or going to be banned in
like
California.
that, yeah. But all these dyes in food, it's like they're not labeled on the ingredients list. Red dye 12 and yellow dye 5, whatever they are. That I don't know. Again, I just go to the like just avoid it. Processed food, just stay away from it. Because you don't know what it's going to be, even if it has an ingredient label and it doesn't have the seed oil in it or whatever. It's like you don't know what other crap could be in it.
Yeah, well, and that's hard to, I think, avoid fully sometimes because maybe you do need like nuts. It's like if we get mixed nuts or we get separate nuts and then mix them together. But if you look at most packaging, they're going to have some sort of oil into it.
Oh yeah,
So you can't just be like, oh, that's
oil.
a thing of almonds. Great.
Right.
It's like, no, you have to look for raw almonds, like
Yep.
raw, some like the unfiltered, the unseasoned, the whatever, roasted. That's hard to find, first of all. But
you're totally right. I mean, especially the nuts thing, and it's even anything in a package, really. Like you have to look at the ingredients. You and your dad got Brussels sprouts, frozen Brussels sprouts, at a grocery store once, and it wasn't until you got home that you noticed that on the ingredients list of just a frozen package of Brussels sprouts it says Brussels sprouts and then sugar.
Yeah,
they added sugar to it. And it's like we're talking whole natural foods. But because it's in a package, you have to look. Yep. Otherwise, those things are going to sneak in and sneak into your diet and with what you're eating. And then you get enough of that stuff like that. Like the nuts is the perfect example because the difficulty that I have had finding just completely raw, nothing nuts. Everything has peanut oil, sunflower oil, canola oil, some sort of bullshit seed oil mixed in with it. And it's like, just give me the raw thing. It's kind of difficult to find. What I have found is if you go to the baking aisle, it seems like they have the walnuts, the pecans, the peanuts maybe. Yeah, I think I found the raw peanuts there. But yeah, if it's got an ingredient label, if it's in a package, and that's where that fig thing would probably be perfect is you can scan everything and see whatever pops up is in it.
Yeah, and I like the behavior that it probably creates. It might create a little bit of that stress and a new, like, well, now I have to go in the grocery store and now I'm like looking at everything and it takes longer. And yes, but then I think you just start to get into a flow of that. Like know to avoid these things or you like, switch it up.
Talking about the different types of people, there's some people that really like that of being very checking things and having an app to do that and like almost being putting more work into like the details of it all and really doing all that kind of stuff. And then there's other people that are just like, just tell me what to eat or tell me what to grab. I don't want to have to think about it. I don't want to have to look at labels. I don't want to have to, do any of that sort. I don't want to have an app. That for those people, it's just like, okay, just go grab whole natural foods that are not in a package. Like you're grabbing the loose apples, the loose green peppers, the loose sweet potatoes. You can kind of avoid having to look at packages when you do that.
Because you're not grabbing packages.
Right. You're just kind of limiting a little bit of what you can grab or eat if you're very against looking at the ingredients label, because you don't want to put any more work into it. But yeah, I think for the people that really like the process of, let me look at this and look this thing up and see what's in it, and that almost interests them. It's like that Fig app, or that Fig app could be super cool and helpful, and I don't know, all that sort of stuff.
Another thing with food, AG1, so formerly Athletic Greens, they are putting vending machines in airports now, or they're starting to roll that out, where they will have the single serve packets as well as the shaker bottles, which I feel like if you just have a water bottle, just use your water bottle. But right now it's only in San Francisco, but then it's going to be put into Chicago, Atlanta, Houston, and Oakland, which Oakland seems kind of random. But I was like, oh, that's one, so smart business wise.
Yeah.
Those things are becoming more, I think those types of grab and goes are becoming more popular. Like if you see like walking through the airport and you see what people are going to, it's like, I think a lot of people go to like the Hudson News and just grab a couple snacks. They're not getting like full meals, because also sometimes like those lines are crazier. They're in a different part of the airport than you are in. That there's not that many healthy options in airports either that are
not at all
available, that aren't, you have to go into a restaurant and take the time to do that. That I like that it's like a quick grab and go. I mean, even when we were in Austin, granted the Starbucks line was always ridiculous, but a lot of people went to that, was it Joe's Coffee? But it was like a little, basically like a little vending machine that would make your cup of coffee.
Yeah. People
It's
don't
like,
want to talk to people.
No, to where I think, okay, you put it in airports where the amount of different traffic and different type of people are just seeing that, even from a marketing standpoint.
Yeah, totally.
Even if no one gets it, how many are like, what is that?
Yeah. How many times we say like, I cannot believe that this many people fly a day.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy the amount of people that are in there. That, yeah, just the marketing alone is probably going to help with
it's like
that.
you basically have an ad passing thousands of people a day.
Yeah. I wonder how expensive that is for them to put those in there. To get that
I don't know.
deal and get that, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. That, again, it's one of those things that I'm just like, it's a processed thing, even though it's supposed to be better for you than other things. It's like, yeah, it's a better option, I'm sure. I just get weary of stuff like that. And I love the people that are like, AG1 is no good, it's bad, so buy my powder. It's like, we have this like,
it's bad because of powder.
Yeah, it's like we have this industry of just powders. Everybody just wants to consume powders all the time. It's crazy. I don't know.
I like it. I like that is an option. I think LMNT should do that.
We're fighting.
Pop some vending machines of LMNT in an airport. Because I think sometimes you just want something at the airport or on the plane that's like a clean, easy walk and grab type of thing that, I don't know. I guess if I was like, I haven't had breakfast, that's not going to fill you up, but it's going to give you something in your body that's not McDonald's.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree that it's better than probably 90% of what's in the airport. For sure.
Yeah.
And could hold you over until you get to wherever you're going and that sort of thing. So I think it's, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent about it. It's like, from my preference of consuming foods and stuff like that, I don't think it's the end all be all, save your life. You should have this every single day and it's going to make you 10 times healthier. But when you're talking about like your options in an airport, yeah, it's going to be probably significantly better than everything else you can get, for sure.
Yeah.
We need more of that sort of stuff in all of these areas. Like, that's what I wonder with why we're so overweight. Is it a convenience thing? Is it a taste thing? Like, are people even going to buy the AG1 stuff in the airports? It's like you're talking to such a small group of people that I think actually consume stuff like that. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. Is it a we don't have the convenience and the options, and now AG1's gonna do crazy good and get all these people in the airport and whatever, or is it people are gonna walk by and go like, why the fuck would I want a green juice as they're walking to McDonald's? Like
Sure.
that tastes like shit. Why would I want that? I'm gonna go get my quarter pounder and
Yeah.
whatever. That's why I'm curious about as a whole, the population, because you kind of have two things going. It is the convenience, and then it's better tasting for people. That I wonder which one is more, because AG1's making it convenient for you.
Right.
So like, I guess you'll kind of see, is it a convenience thing? But taste always comes into play, and people just don't want to. I mean, it's why everybody goes to Starbucks, and it's hilarious. Like the people that go to Starbucks that think that they're eating healthy because they get the
Egg bites.
or like the chicken wrap thing or whatever, or the, it's like
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, they literally come out in like
It's
packaged like plastic wrap. They like break open and pop it in the microwave.
It's a cult. Like Starbucks is one of those where
Yeah.
it's an image thing now. You have your little Starbucks like paper sleeve of your croissant thing in there, or your bagel sandwich and whatever, and it's like, look, I went to Starbucks. I'm so cool.
Their branding is smart though. Like it's so aesthetically pleasing that I think that's also a part of it. It's like it doesn't look like a stupid coffee cup. Like I don't know, it's something about the colors are like the calming, natural colors. The aesthetic of it just like looks cleaner and nicer. That I think that brainwashes people. But it's so convenient. Like you said, it's convenient. It's so not convenient. Like they are just everywhere. Like you go into an airport specifically, like they are in every terminal to where you're not going to get that with a Pete's Coffee or a Dunkin', or not that those are better coffees, but like they make themselves so available to you.
Yeah.
And they're the same everywhere you go. To where you go into every airport, they're going to have their own coffee place that's regional. But Starbucks is everywhere. So you know what you're going to get. You can count on it. I know if I'm going to pay $5 for this coffee in an airport, I know I'm going to like it because it's the same one that was at the airport I just came from.
Yeah. Those companies are interesting to me because I don't think that it's that aesthetically pleasing. I don't think it's an aesthetic thing at all. I think they've gotten so big to where now we make that up of, well, they've got a great aesthetic and they've got this and they do that.
Sure.
And it's like,
it's also the aesthetic I personally like.
Sure. But to me, it's like they're just a ginormous brand, and it now means something to have a Starbucks, to have a cup of coffee from Starbucks, or have a bagel thing from Starbucks. It's the same thing of like Lululemon. Lululemon was nothing, and then all of a sudden now everybody's got it. Now it means something to have a Lululemon this, Lululemon that. And now it's, their aesthetic is just so pleasing, and their colors are nice, and it's very simple, and it just is, it's perfect. It's like, no, it's just because they got popular as shit. You think the Golden Arches is like this amazing color combination and all that type of stuff? It's like, no, it's just they're one of the biggest companies in the world.
Yeah. The opposite of aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah. It's like weird red and yellow.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you might be right. It might not do well as far as them purchasing the products in the airport. Another thing, like, it doesn't really go bad. So it's not like you put something in there and if no one gets it, you're screwed.
Yeah, for AG1.
Even if it's just from a marketing standpoint, I
Yeah.
wonder how much they pull in, or if they see an uptick in that in those areas, or just in general.
Yeah. I think it's cool. I mean, I'm obviously all for having healthier options everywhere we go to try to help that be more of what people go to and grab and stuff like that. Hopefully it works.
Especially
I
those
just
airports. It's kind of random the ones that they chose, but those might be hub spots. Like Atlanta is, Chicago is. It would be weird if San Fran and Houston, I don't think is a hub spot. But you're getting a shit ton of people in those airports.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't
I'll be curious if we see it in the San Francisco one. I don't think they've rolled them out into the other ones yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. To me, I'm always it's like, yeah, that's great and stuff, but just take your own food then. Or eat before, or you'll be fine if you don't.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we've experienced that also. That's not always super easy. It's like you actually have to work harder to do that. And then how many people don't do that to begin with? It's like, and even us who typically do that and work harder to get those things. And even for us, sometimes it's tricky.
Yeah.
It's like I think of us leaving on Monday mornings and it's a 6 a.m. flight. That might be something I would grab.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to have McDonald's, but I also want something in my system. Is that most of the time I'd probably just try to fast, but it's like, is that an option I personally would probably choose? Because I'm not going to go and grab a random protein shake that has whatever dairy in it. And that still might be something I would choose.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think the better option is to try to figure it out yourself.
The better option would be just to get AG1 and have the packets with you.
No. Eat an apple.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I guess if that's available to you.
Have an apple and some nuts.
Sure. Yeah.
Take it through they let you take food through security.
Yeah.
I'm boring.
No, I don't think you're boring. I just think sometimes that is a harder. I'm just thinking putting the scenario in our shoes that we experience all the time. Then you take people that are doing it more frequently and don't care as much about that, or what are they going to just try to go get a thing of nuts and an apple before they head to the airport? They might not be as set up in that way. Yeah, I guess we could do that, but
No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying there's a better option than that, and it just takes a little bit more work. And that's always the case, and people don't want to do that.
no.
And that's where I don't think going to just making it even more convenient, because it's not a vending machine of just raw apples and nuts and whatever. It's still a processed form of food that, are you an astronaut? No. Then eat real food.
Yeah.
Do a little bit more for it. It's kind of just do you want to be healthy or not? Sure, it's fine if you have to do it every once in a while, but I don't know. We're too much trying to keep the convenience of our food and whatever. It's look at all these keto friendly foods and this and that. Everything is now, they're just trying to make healthy, convenient food. That's somewhat of the push, and it's just not as healthy as the whole natural food that you get out of the ground. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it, and we're fighting it, and it's a losing battle. And people are claiming that they're healthy and eating healthy, and they eat all this great stuff, and it's you eat powders, and processed stuff, and then you're wondering why you're inflamed all the time, or why you have bloating issues, or you're low energy, or this or that, whatever. It's because you're not eating real food.
Sure. Yeah, I agree.
So I don't know, I'm on both sides of it. I like that there's something a little bit healthier for people in the airport, but there's still a problem to me.
Oh, totally. I think
this
is, I'm almost doing the conversation that we talked about of you're not doing it. Like, I'm seeing it from if you're going to either grab all of this food in the airport, which is all bad, or this is still a better option.
Yes.
If you are not going to do the thing of having something and bringing it to the airport, or, you know, you have a long day of travel and some flights got delayed and you didn't prepare for that or whatever. Like, we've been in that so many times.
Mm-hmm.
That is still a better option, and I'm happy that there are more options that are out there.
Yeah.
I think it's cool that, I mean, and granted, that's added in. There's probably 3 more McDonald's added to the airports. It's never going to outweigh the bad.
Right.
The bad is always going to be more convenient and cheaper, and in every single terminal and whatever. But
that's where I wonder if it's almost a bad decision to do it, because it's a losing battle. It's like these restaurants that try to pop up in our like health restaurants. It's like, I just don't know if this is going to work. You're so outnumbered, and I just don't know if that's what people actually want. I think when you're going out to eat, you're wanting something that is tasty, and I don't know. Even though I don't really think they're that great tasting, but yeah, I just don't know if you're picking the right industry to like try to change or affect or like make your money out of. Like when you talk about convenience foods and restaurants and stuff like that, I just don't. That is so dominated by bad food. McDonald's,
sure.
Taco Bell, you know, all that kind of stuff that I just don't. I don't know. People have shown that that's what they want, is shitty food.
Yeah. I like it even just from the marketing. You're shoving it in people's faces more, and more people that maybe wouldn't be seeing it. And like, how many people are maybe even listening to this? They're like, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, totally.
To where I think for the people that I listen to or that I know, it is a more popular product, even if you're not like super into the health space.
Sure.
Like, this is I don't know, one of those products that's kind of popping off in popularity, but I don't know.
But that's the thing, is like, what is the biggest health food product company that you can think of?
That's more like nationwide kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because it's like, with whatever you name, there's probably 10, 20 bad food companies
Sure.
that are bigger and larger and get way more sales and stuff.
Yeah.
That's like, I just don't know if it's, I don't know. I don't believe that that's for the consumer. I don't believe that that's the way that you're going to get healthy and to be healthy. And then I don't know for the company, like the company can probably make some decent money, I guess. But again, like, that's what they're about. It's like the fucking Magic Mind company. What a bunch of douchebags. Like, you guys, your whole product is about not caffeine. This is not caffeine. It's all nootropics and this and that. And now they're coming out with a caffeine version. If that's not a fucking money grab,
Sure.
then what is?
Sure.
It's like, all these companies are just money grabs. You don't need AG1. You don't need Magic Mind. You don't need these random whatevers. Like, you can just eat whole natural foods and you're fine. They're all just trying to make money. So this idea that like they're trying to look out for you is just ridiculous.
They're just going with what the consumers are telling them that they want.
Yes.
People want that. They don't want to. It's like LMNT is crazy popular. You can buy all of those things for a quarter of the price and just mix it yourself. But people don't want to do that. Even me, who does that, I'm still like, yeah, but it'd be more fun to have it be flavored. Or like a packet that I could leave with. And I'm not in a hotel room with all my little baggies of powder, like concocting my electrolytes.
It looks like you're making meth in the hotel room.
Yeah, that would be more convenient. It'd be more enjoyable. It'd be more fun. Yeah. Like, and I'm someone that focuses on that. And still, I'm like, if I could not could. If I was okay with paying for it, 100% I would do that. A green juice when I'm already having the other stuff and that could just top it off, 100% I would want that. Talk about drinks. It's like, I just want more drinks. And these are healthier drinks.
Anything in drink form, you're on. You're on board.
It's like, yeah, I
Wait,
would love
stop right
doing
there.
that.
Did you say it was a drink?
Yeah, I would love doing that. The liquid aminos from Kion. I loved having those. It's a freaking fun drink that's not shitty for you. Granted, is it going to make or break your health? No. But when I'm already doing that, this is just an added fun that's not going to bring me back, I don't believe. I don't think it's going to hinder me as much.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah, if you're playing the choose between the two game.
Yeah, like I don't think it's going to make, I don't know, maybe. I don't know if it's going to make me more unhealthy. It might not do anything.
I think my problem with it is it's training the behaviors in the way that I just don't think are correct. The people that have problems with the behaviors of choosing whole natural foods and good things to put in their body and all that kind of stuff.
Agree.
You're now just choosing powders and this bullshit and that bullshit. I'm drinking LMNT, AG1, Magic Mind every single day, so I must be healthy. Well, but what are the actual foods you're putting in your body? Because the actual foods you're putting in your body is junk. So now you're just being trained or tricked that you're a healthy person because you have these supplements, but you're really not. And that's what I don't like about this culture of, I don't know, convenience foods and these health foods that are popping up now. And then Magic Mind, God, you really pissed me off with that. Like, your whole product is no caffeine.
And
Your
I just
whole
want to
fucking
confirm,
product.
are you sure there's caffeine in it? Like, did you look up the product?
I didn't, but what I had heard was they were going to come out with a caffeine product.
Right, but
Their
like,
whole product is they don't have caffeine,
or is it like just a different type of stimulant? And the people that we're listening to don't know.
Their whole product is this is not caffeinated. It's all nootropics and it's all whatever bullshit. Then I had heard that they were going to come out with another product that now has caffeine in it.
Sure.
You just want money from everybody.
Are you sure that it's, so you have heard that it is not caffeine? Because this one is showing that it has 55 milligrams caffeine.
Well, then they probably rolled out the product, the caffeinated version.
Magic Mind CEO says that Magic Mind is not anti-caffeine, but he believes most people misunderstand it. Magic Mind with a cup of coffee can create an extended energy wave that a little bit of caffeine can elevate every day. So the caffeine is matcha, but it's still, there's caffeine in matcha. I don't know. But I think those companies, their goal isn't to create behaviors. They're not.
No.
Like, so I don't think it's.
No, that's why they annoy me.
I agree. I don't think that's training our society to be that way. I think our society is just that way. And these companies, one, are profiting off of that because that's how we work. But I think if I'm going to see it in a positive light, it's these people aren't going to do it then. It's either they're taking LMNT or they're not focusing on that. People aren't focusing on electrolytes. People aren't focusing on getting hydrated. They're not going to do any sort of vegetable. This is the only way that they're going to get the antioxidants that they would get from eating that way. So it's either this or nothing. I don't think it's a this or that for people.
And
if it was, 100% stop doing that. But
I just don't think that you having the standard American diet, which is processed foods and barely nutritional at all, and then adding in AG1, LMNT, and Magic Mind, you are now going to have a healthy lifestyle, have a healthy life. Is it better than you not having those? I just don't even know if it is that much. I just don't even know if it is that much. You're talking about a 5 to 10% effect on your diet and what is going on inside your body with those products. You're having such a net negative with the standard American diet, and now you just add in a couple fluffy fancy things. Like, it's not, I just don't think it's going to do it. I just don't think it's going to do it enough. And that's what I don't like about the culture of it, is like, we just now have AG1 and we're healthy people. It's like, no, you need to get off this shit diet that you're having.
Sure.
And you need to go
Yes.
exercise, and you need to whatever, do other better things, but not this just like have a powder drink and now I'm great.
Well, that's true. It's not going to make up your whole health portfolio. It was, who was it that said it? It was,
If your health that's a perfect way to put it. If your health portfolio is AG1, Magic Mind, and LMNT, you're fucked. Like, that's not a health portfolio.
Also, you're wasting so much money.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I don't like about these things as well. It's not that I don't like the companies and what they're doing. It's like, we're in a capitalist society. Go make your money. Start a business.
Mm-hmm.
If people are buying it, people are buying it. Like, I hate McDonald's way more than I hate these people. It's like, you're poisoning the entire world with your bullshit food. Like, this is bad. But
This is just creating a shit behavior.
yeah, but this, I think it's them playing the other side of like, well, we're the health food and we're going to make you healthy and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, no, you're not.
Or that you need this.
Right. You don't need LMNT. Like,
Yeah.
these people that got all tricked with this whole salt and magnesium and all this bullshit, it's like, you don't need it.
Well, oh my gosh. And that's also like,
That's such a, for a select few people that actually need that stuff daily and at that dosage.
yeah, if you're eating, how most, and I mean most, I can't think of one person in our immediate circle that should be taking that based off of how they eat.
Right.
Most people eat some version of processed something in the day that you're probably getting your sodium intake. You might not be getting the magnesium, the potassium, but I think, yes, it's like this demonization of salt is terrible. And then now it's on the switch of, no, salt is good for you. If you eat so clean that you're not getting the sodium that you need.
Right.
And even like we got, I don't even remember what test it was that we got, but it's like your sodium levels were pretty close to fine.
Yeah, and I don't put hardly any salt on anything. I don't.
Yeah, and we only eat what you talk about of whole foods. Yeah, we do.
Not only, but majority of the time.
I'm trying to think like, yeah, I guess we have berries in a bag and.
But again, we're checking the ingredients label. They're not added sugar. They're not whatever.
Yeah. So we have protein powder and creatine. Those are like the powders that we have. So you could say that's.
Protein powder, creatine.
The processed stuff that we have, but there's also no sodium in that. To where even for you, your sodium levels were fine.
Yeah.
It's like, if you have anything that is not that, like anything processed, anything that's not the food, you're probably fine.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get the craziest amount of sodium in most sauces. Like, you use sauce in a day, you're getting the sodium intake that you probably need. It's just a fun, different drink that is on the healthier side of it. It's like the Ollipops.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need this. If you're choosing between a Coke and this, okay. Right. Sure, to have every once in a while, that shouldn't be like a regular routine.
It's not a health food. Like, I think that's what people use this stuff as. This is a health food, so I'm not going to buy cases of it and I'm going to have it every single day. To where it's like, no, it's that thing of, well, I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place, so I'll pick the little bit healthier version. I'll take the AG1 at the airport, or I'll pick the Olipop at Walmart because I'm craving something soda-y or whatever. Okay, you did a little bit better than what the previous options were. But to like, I'm going to go grab cases of Olipop and have my fridge stacked with AG1 and whatever and Magic Mind stuff. It's like, you're not being healthier. You're just getting tricked by this whole marketing thing.
Yeah. Well, and that's where I think those products can be cool in the market for a certain section of people. It's the Dr. Mike that I don't really like.
Sure.
I don't know his name, but she was an older lady. I don't remember her name either.
Yeah. The supplementation lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To where she was talking about supplements just in general, how crazy the market is now and how there's just too much stuff, but that supplements aren't going to make you healthy. But if you're someone that's already healthy, it might put you 2% over, depending on what you're choosing. And it's probably should be you're choosing it for your breakdown of what you need. It's not just, this is going to help everybody.
Right. It's not
well,
a blanketed.
No, you maybe don't need that. Or your levels are too high of that now you're adding more to something that you don't need. Like, supplement should almost be strategic like medicine is.
Yeah.
It's like,
yes. It's not a daily
just a
thing.
Shotgun approach for most things. I would say maybe if you took a multivitamin, but even that, you better be really paying attention to what company you're getting your vitamins from and what is their testing. So you could just be filling your body with who knows what.
Mm-hmm.
But where was I going with that?
But I don't think it should be a daily thing with a lot of these. You know, stuff like creatine and potentially protein powder, I can understand because people are significantly low in the amount of protein that they need and creatine that they need. But when you're talking about like LMNT with the salt and the magnesium and the potassium, that should be probably more designed for when you have a very intense workout that you just went through and now you're trying to replenish those whatever to help you build muscle and to help with whatever your body functions and stuff like that. But again, people are not even working out hard enough to need something like that. Like, that stuff is built for like athletes and people who are really pushing the envelope. You know, the whole Floyd Mayweather has a Coca-Cola after his workouts and it's actually good for you and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, because Floyd Mayweather is working out for 8 hours and still that Coca-Cola is not the best thing that he could be having.
Right.
Like, he should probably be having the salt and the magnesium and the potassium and then maybe a little bit of sugar or something like that. But
that's what I was going to say about like the Olipop and those things being in the market is that is for, I think, where that could not benefit, but like be used somewhat appropriately is for those people that, like, I think of like when we get that stuff. Granted, we still have shit sometimes. Like, we had Thanksgiving and we made something with Hershey's chocolate in it and a marshmallow. Like,
yeah,
sometimes that happens. But if we're going to get a soda, I would say 90% of the time, we're not going to touch a Coke or like a regular soda. So if we want something like that, that might be a little bit better.
Yeah.
If we want that regardless, but we don't want to go full blown in and get a regular soda, that might be the equilibrium.
It might be a little bit better of an option. It's when you're at you're at a weak point and you want something that's soda-y. Okay, maybe grab something a little bit, or one of those what are those called, Zevias or whatever.
Oh yeah,
it's like something that like that. But if you're having that every single day thinking that this is a health food, it's just not.
Yeah, it's if you want to go off the rails a little bit but you don't want to go completely.
Yeah,
it's like I'm choosing to make a not as good choice, but I don't want to go full blown into it.
Yeah.
But okay, so this was back with the Magic Mind thing. I would want to go, and maybe the next time that they have a reading for it, like, what are the podcasts? What is their script that they're reading? Because does it say, and again, we need to go back and check or listen again, if they talk about it being caffeine free? Because I'm on the website of their original, like the one that they're all drinking in the podcast, and it has caffeine in it. Like, and it says that it does. Like, there's matcha in it. It says that there's 55 milligrams of caffeine. They are rolling out a caffeine-free version. So are those people just switching them? If they were promoting it as caffeine-free, okay. But, like, their base product says that there's caffeine in it.
Okay, I'm wrong about everything, and I apologize.
I wasn't saying for you. I'm just saying, I think the people that we're listening to might be a little bit.
You know what? Now that we're in, scrap everything I said.
Incorrect.
This whole podcast.
It's just saying that it's a cleaner energy because it's matcha compared to like an artificial whatever.
I will do some studying and see, because yeah, that's not what went into my brain for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, because it like very clearly says it on all the stuff, like a clean caffeine version.
Interesting.
Where are we at for time?
We're done.
Okay.
Subscribe.
Subscribe. Also, we didn't talk about it. This sweater was $7.
Okay. See you later.